want to go back to where you fell in love with football. Or was football the first sport that you fell in love with?
No, I love football, but the reason why I played football because the love I received. I didn't have love growing up. So only love I got was my grandma and my dog. So, cause both parents was in prison. I was born in prison. So, and luckily my grandma came and got me 4 days later, cause my grandma had all girls. So she never had a boy. So when she got me, I was like her number one king, favorite kid, all that kind of stuff. So play with my toys by myself. I used to get picked on, bullied, beat up because I was small and couldn't defend myself and all that stuff. So, but I used to play football by myself in the middle of the street while my grandma sit on the porch. She was an alcoholic, smoked cigarettes, 2-pack of cigarettes a day. That's why I don't drink and smoke to this day. So she was like, I was 6 years old. She finally signed me up. And then first year I played O-line. I still don't know how that happened. And then the following year that I became running back, I still don't know how that happened. And then the rest is history and all that stuff. But the reason why I love football because the love I received, like I never had that.
Right.
And just watching all the kids with their parents hanging out, have fun, spending time with them, coming to their games and all that stuff. Because at that time, I had to wait till 2015 for my dad to get out because he never watched me play football or anything like that. So my goal was to make sure I make it to the NFL. So when he get out, he can come watch me for the first time ever. So but I never got the chance to.
I got you. And, and at a young age, you want to make people happy. I mean, not just at a young age. You do that when you get older too. But as a kid, you want everybody to, whatever you do, you want to please them. You want to make them proud.
For me as a kid, I wanted revenge because it's a neighborhood probably 3 streets down from my grandma's apartment called Lake Ridge. Mm-hmm. They play basketball all the time. So when I used to go out there, either I got picked last or I didn't get picked at all. So all the times I walked back to my grandma's house crying because they looking at me like either I suck or you ain't worth out here. So
right.
All them times I kept crying going home, it just I keep picturing it. It kept coming back to me. So I say, what can I do to fix this? How can I fix this? So my goal was to be the best athlete in the world. So when the time comes, people going to fight over me, they'll pick me first or whatever it is. But anything I do, I will come in first.
Right.
When I say anything and everything, when I went to the camps, I'm coming in first. If I win trophies, I'm coming in first. I'm going to win every goddamn war. I'm winning championships. I'm going to be the best player in high school history, Little League football, the whole 9 yards. Everything was built up. And then my heart became a brick. So you can't break me because all the stuff I've been doing when I was young. So ain't nobody break me, and I'm fit to destroy anybody, everybody, because you can't go to jail on the football field.
That is true.
So
that is true. Well, we tell our kids all the time, like, hey, where else in the world can you get in a fight and not get in trouble? Except on the football field. Like you can legally assault somebody.
Like I had to smile, but I had to smile because I pray to God. I always prayed since first grade, still to this day. My kids do it and all that stuff too. So, and God helped me put a smile on my face, give energy, make everybody love me and all that stuff. But I was playing angry, mad, and trying to kill anybody that come in my way. So, and that was that. And that's how I tell athletes, you have to have a killer mode or a killer instinct. For example, this because I try to do this analogy for the kids nowadays. Okay, say me and you homeboys and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna destroy you, this and that, and all the other stuff. Then I tell them, I say, hey, what if this was your grandma? Oh, they'll be like, oh, or they'll get sulfur, or no, I couldn't do that. What's the difference?
Yeah.
They in front of you, stopping you from going somewhere. Mm-hmm. So why so different? No, I don't care if it's my grandma, my mom, dad, cousin, auntie, dog, whoever it is, my wife, my girlfriend, whoever in front of me. I am destroying this person because they're in my way to get where I'm trying to get to.
Right.
And then afterwards, I can shake their hand or hug or give them a kiss and all the other stuff. But that's the difference between nowadays and back then. Like, I don't care who is in front of me. Like for the divisions in high school football, oh, you got division 2A, 2B, or 3 or 7 or anything like that. They be like, oh, this and that. You treat every game the same.
True.
Ain't nothing different. Football is the same. You treat everybody the same. And if you that good, you gonna do what you do.
Right.
It's that simple. It ain't nothing different. I don't care if they undefeated or 0-10. It doesn't matter. You do you, and the rest is history. So,
When's the first time that you realized that, when you started football, you could make a career out of it? Like, it was something that could change your life, per se. Was there ever a moment?
I say high school sophomore year. Because when I big time players that was a senior that year, getting all these letters, because I knew he was an athlete and everything else, and he went to Florida State anyway. So, and I'm like, man, what's all these, man? If you good, you get this kind of stuff. I'm talking about a box of letters. So my sophomore year, I'm tearing it up. So I give you an example. So just the regular season. This ain't not including the playoff or the state championship game. So my sophomore year, I had 60 carries for 1,000 yards. So did you hear what I just said?
Yeah.
People don't understand this. I'm a sophomore. Only 60. Have you ever heard this before? 60 carries,
No.
1,000 yards.
No, I haven't.
Like, I don't realize this till I get older.
Yeah.
Cause you be like, man, at least I got 1,000 yards. You don't think about all this till you get older. And be like, cause I don't have time to look back and stuff unless I do stuff like this. And then when you start realize, like, when you have fine time and start thinking about all the stuff you did, cause you got kids and all that stuff, and you want them to see you on the wall, pictures or whatever, or they hear the story, or they see the YouTube and all that stuff. You be like, damn, I really did. Like, I really was that guy. But I'm not a trash talker. I'm a humble person, and I don't do all that kind of stuff. If people know, they know. But you start realizing, like, damn, I really did that. And then I end up with 1,800 yards that whole season as a sophomore. I'm like, man, God dang. And then it started getting 10 times worse. Cause my first letter ever was Florida. Out of all the letters I got, only letter I didn't get was Texas Longhorn.
Really?
All the letters except for that school. And then, but my first letter ever was Florida, my sophomore year. That's the only letter I opened, and I committed my sophomore year.
Oh, wow. Was Urban there, or was that still Zook?
Nope, Urban.
Okay, yeah. I was trying to think of the timeline when he was still there, when he got there, because
that was 04.
Yep. So you're from Lakeland, right?
Yes, sir.
Originally, you're from.
I was born in the prison in Marion County.
Oh, okay. So Marion County, but you went to Lakeland.
Yep.
To live with your grandma.
Yeah, and then I end up moving with the Pouncey twins my sophomore year.
Oh, okay. I got you. Now we can talk about Lakeland because Lakeland football it's top notch.
Still to this day,
it sure is. And it's one of those programs that have been. It's not a fluke like we talked about earlier. It's not a fluke. They have, it's a pristine program and a lot of history with that program, and it'd be something really cool. Obviously, you were a part of it, but it's something to be cool to be a part of that tradition and everything.
It's a great tradition, but the thing is, they had so many great players that came through there. So my goal was, how can I stick out? How can I be better than all the players that came before me, after me, or whatever it is, and all that stuff? So, because a lot of my family members went to Lakeland and was studs and all that stuff. So even my brother. So how can I stick out? Because they won championships too. So how can I stick out, be legendary, be great, and be talked about for the rest of the time? I had to keep getting championship rings. So because every year, a new year, new team. Hey, I'm not scared to put the team on my back. We already talking about our reigns during spring. What kind of reigns, how we're going to make it, and all that other kind of stuff. Just like I said, I'm not scared to put the team on my back if I have to. So, but we had studs everywhere. So that's the thing. I didn't even have to play defense, but I played special teams, but I was the safety man. And I tell guys, if I played defense, I would have been Sean Taylor, because I really was knocking heads off.
Wow.
Because I played angry. That's what people don't understand. So I was just a running back. And I was a juker too, so I didn't really have to hit anybody ever.
Right.
So, and my juking was deadly. Because I used to practice it all day, every day, everywhere I walked. When I was in elementary, 1, 2, 3, bam. 1, 2, 3, bam. Everywhere I went, that's all I did. 1, 2, 3, bam.
Wow.
1, 2, 3, bam. That dead leg cut I did, that's all I used to practice all my life when I walked everywhere. 1, 2, 3, bam. 1, 2. I'm talking about, that's all I used to do. 1, 2, 3, bam. Counting. 1, 2, 3, bam. And it was affected.
Looking for a true look into Old Florida? Come experience the excitement at the Sumter County Farmers Market, featuring our flea market and cattle auction in small town Webster. Shop hundreds of vendors offering antiques, fresh produce, tools, clothing, and collectibles, plants, and one-of-a-kind treasures you'll never know you'll find. And don't forget the action-packed cattle auction, where buyers and sellers gather each week as part of one of Florida's most respected livestock markets. From quality cattle to honest service and a strong market atmosphere, we're proud to serve Florida's agricultural community. Whether you're hunting for bargains, stocking up on fresh goods, expanding your herd, or just enjoying a day out with family and friends, there's something for everyone at the Sumter County Farmers Market. Come see why people from all over Florida make Webster their destination every week.
If you want an energy drink that tastes like a reward, check out Big B Energy Drinks. 3 delicious flavors: strawberry smash, white cherry fizz, and summer melon. Super refreshing, super smooth. It hits the caffeine sweet spot, 80 milligrams per can, made for the people who want something more than soda, but don't need the 300 milligrams energy drink full of jitters. It has a smooth onset with no crash at the end. And the best part, no artificial colors. It's the kind of energy drink that you grab on the way to work, before the gym, or anytime you need to lock in and get something done. Take a sip, thoughtfully crafted, masterfully mixed. You can order online at bigbenergy.com. Use promo code GOBLAY10 to save 10% at checkout.
Catfish Johnny's Restaurant, served at Lake Panasoffkee and surrounding areas since 1990. For the last 34 years, we have strived to serve great food at good prices and a friendly, casual atmosphere. If seafood isn't your thing, our wings and burgers are the best around. We have our daily specials too. We are open Wednesday through Saturday. Check us out on Facebook or Instagram for more information.
But to write a book, just one book, but you've written 5 or 6?
5.
5 books. Yeah. So what pulled you, like what made you want to write?
I don't think it was ever what made me want to write. I just always did. I was definitely that girl that had the journals. So I've probably been writing since I was a kid. It just happens. And it was more like journaling, not necessarily writing stories. I have like I kind of stopped journaling. Like I have 20 years of journals.
Oh, wow.
Like packed away in like suitcases and stuff. Like there's some dirt back there for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah. And so, I mean, it's just something I did. I had a very troubled childhood, traumatizing. And it was kind of my escape from all that. And I just kind of like put my all into these books. And then from there, it just kind of turned into stories. And it actually never occurred to me to publish anything or to have that as a career. I kind of always thought I was going to go and be an actress in Hollywood. That was kind of my original dream. So it never actually occurred to me to ever publish. But then some family and friends started reading my stuff, and they were like, "What are you doing? Like, why don't you try to publish this?" And I was like, "I don't know." And I literally sat on it for years and years. And it wasn't until literally 2018 when I first published my You Taste Like Whiskey and Sunshine. And that was like a memoir. So it was based off of life experience. So that was kind of, and then it blew up into something, and like people were asking me to be on radio shows and stuff like that. And I was just like, oh, like, you know what I mean? It was really that easy.
Yeah.
And it just was like, I guess I just always had a natural talent for it. And I guess I just never realized that I could make a life out of it. And the one thing I can credit to my mother is like, she always told me that I could do anything. Mm-hmm. She pumped me up my whole life, and she's the reason why, you know, I've always had the confidence to jump out and try new things, is because she was always like, you can do anything, and it didn't matter what crazy idea I came to her with. She was like, yeah, you do it. And I think that's what made me think that I can do anything that I want.
Yeah, that's cool. I like the confidence level, and that takes a lot of confidence to write a full novel about something that, especially about something that, you know, may or may not have happened to you or in your life or whatever, you know, like that took place in there. And I used to keep not a journal, but it was I still have it somewhere. It's probably at my mom and dad's house, and it's I did it so when you get older, you know, everybody's talking about Alzheimer's and like memory loss and stuff like that. And I did it. I didn't know much about that then, but I had this idea like, what if like later on in my life I can't remember things that I should remember or things I shouldn't remember.
Right.
And I started writing stuff down, like experiences that me and my friends went through. And some of them are just sentences, but it keys in memory just like that. Like I can read it and I can tell you exactly where we were. I don't know if that's just my brain, how it works. I have a little bit of, I think we all have a little touch of the tism. Right. Seriously, I mean, I think everybody has that on the spectrum. And I think that I'm able to remember stuff that people are like, how do you remember that? And sometimes it's good and sometimes they're embarrassed. Like, oh my God, why did you tell them that? Or especially about myself, I always tell on myself about things I've done. And that's how I met my wife. But anyways, there's stories that I want to remember when I get older. And it brings back, you know, everybody talks about the good old days. Yes. And I want to do that. Mm-hmm. So I have this notebook, this binder, and it's labeled the things we did or did not do, but they sure made us laugh. That's how
awesome, though.
That's what I titled it. And my friends hate it when I pull that book out.
They're like, we're trying to forget those times. Well, I love the fact that like I grew up in a generation where there was no social media and no phones, because I mean, Absolutely. We got up to all the things and there was like no video evidence. But it's interesting you say that, because I think it's really important what you're doing, because just your children, my daughter's 19 now, but they have an incredible way of mortifying you by remembering things you did as a young parent. And my daughter will come up with stuff, and I mean, it's just like you said, all she has to do is say a certain sentence or a word, and I'm like, oh my God, I have never thought about that, you know, in years, or I never thought, you know, and it's interesting. It's a really good idea, actually, what you're saying, is to keep your memories in place like that, because it does. Certain words do trigger me, and I'm like, oh my God, I haven't thought about that in literally 20 years. It
also, it's just like and I'm sure there's a name for it, but I'm not doing it service. About like when you hear a song and it instantly transforms you back to another time. Like you can remember the first time you heard that song, where you were, how old you were. And it's not, I mean, that happens to everybody. Like, oh my gosh, I remember this song and I was at here and these people were with me and it's crazy how your brain can remember all that stuff. But I can't remember my password for
Right.
Netflix.
I know the passwords are terrible.
Yeah, but I can tell you what I did, where I was for New Year's in 1999, and like stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like what? Like that's not important anymore. But
Yeah.
can't remember the simple stuff. But all the nostalgic stuff is still on the plate.
I know.
Let's see. Do you when your books, are they all like things that you've been through, or just like do you just get this idea in your head and you go, I have a basis, like a premise, and I just build off that, kind of like the Star Wars trilogy, like I have one character, but there's a side guy that just so happens to walk by the episode, and we're gonna do an 8-part series on this guy.
When I was I've always, like I said, I always wrote, but there's also learning to write as well. And I took a couple of courses throughout my writing career, I guess. And they always said you write what you know. Mm-hmm. And I mean, you could be writing something entirely fiction, but you're in there somewhere.
True.
So, you'll find, as an author, you'll find yourself in characters, you'll find yourselves in locations and stuff like that. But my characters, they do just come to me. Now, the stories behind them, for example, the Dismember's Handbook and the Blood Chronicles, they're based off of a detective who finds herself in scenarios where she's looking for serial killers. So for her, she's in all the books, but the atmosphere changes in each book. So she carries on throughout the series, and there'll be like 8 books to this series. So
I got you.
She's always going to be in the books. The other characters will change. The serial killer's always different. They're always based off of real serial killers. And so that's kind of what I base them around is, because I'm a true crime fanatic. So, I mean, I've probably watched everything you could possibly know. So I have quite a bit of knowledge about serial killers. So that's kind of where that sort of thing comes from. But the stories just kind of come to me on long drives, if that makes any sense. That's kind of, I've never heard of writer's block. You know what I mean? I have all kinds of mess in my head, and it's just comes out on paper.
Well, I think a long drive helps, clear the mind.
Yeah.
And then you're able to think, almost like an out of body experience. Not really, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you know how they say people think out of the box?
Yeah.
Well, the box is your life.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You got to look and see what, you want to know. That's another perspective.
Yeah.
What is, when you were growing up, did you watch, was there like a show that you used to watch, like about crime, that made you kind of get interested in that? Or just one day you're like, you know what, I really like crime stuff?
No, you know what? We came from the generation where, you'd go out until dark and your parents never knew where you were. And as long as the lights come on, you come home, that sort of thing. My mom, I was watching horror movies when I was like 7 years old. Like there was just no, and like back when there was like Blockbuster and stuff like that. Like my mom, every Friday night, movies were a big thing in our household. And my mom was a single mom. And every Friday night, me and my brother would go to the movie store with her. And that was our thing. We were allowed to pick anything we wanted. And she literally, I don't know if just that generation, it didn't occur to them that maybe young children shouldn't watch like blood-curdling movies, but that's it. Me and my brother are huge horror fans.
Yeah.
My brother's probably worse than me. He's got horror movies in his closet from the 50s and stuff like that, but that's probably where it all comes from. And it's like I said before, I had a traumatizing childhood. No fault of my mother, of course. And it's just, I think that, we all have a dark side, and this is where my dark side comes out.
I didn't know if you had watched a lot of Matlock.
Yeah, I am aware of Matlock, but no. I am aware of him, but no, I can't say that. Oh my goodness!
I love me some Matlock, but my
It's so random of you.
I know, but mystery.
Yeah.
Mysterious.
No, it's probably like what's a Murder, She Wrote.
Angela Lansbury.
My mother made me watch all those shows growing up.
God.
Like they were always on. That's probably would be more of a connection.
I didn't know a lot about that show because I don't know. I'm not. It's not like I'm not a fan of Angela Lansbury, but I don't know. I just didn't get into the show.
She was ancient forever. Did you ever notice that?
Hey, she
was
looked great too, like Betty White.
Yeah, but she that show was on forever, and she always looked the same.
Let me ask you this: since you knew more about the show, in the end wasn't that all about? She was the person doing all that.
Oh yeah, she was solving all the crimes.
Yeah, but she
Yeah.
made it sound like, wasn't it like somebody like she was like it was mysterious, like nobody knew, but it was like what was the whole premise of the show? I really didn't get into it.
Well, I mean, she was kind of random, like in the sense that, like, so obviously it was a mystery, and you're kind of putting the pieces together throughout the show.
Right.
But yeah, she was always the one that broke the case. It was always like she was always in the right place at the right time, and I can't remember if she actually even had any type of a background whatsoever in like solving crimes, or if she was just, that's one part I can't remember, is like I don't know if she was even part of it, or if she was just that little old lady that just got it right every time. I don't know, but
She was just like in the right place.
yeah,
She
she just knew stuff. All the time she just knew stuff.
She just walks by, you're like, oh look, there's some blood on
Yeah,
the ground.
she's like, oh, you didn't find this clue, losers. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't remember if she even had any skills. But yeah, she was good at it for sure.
there's that'd be like, there's the forensics teams in there, crime scene unit. They're like wiping everything down.
Yeah.
And then she walks by and she's like, you forgot this.
Yeah, exactly. I really think that was the premise of the show. Like, she just knew stuff, and everybody else looked like an idiot, you know? And they're just like, oh, I'm just going to resign today because she got the,
that old bag got me.
Yeah, it's like, because I feel like that was the whole premise, that it was just like she didn't really have a clue.
They're like, sir, after 27 years of service,
Yeah,
I'm putting in my notice.
Because
Grandma found this lock of hair.
Yeah, the last season they hire her for the FBI. It's just like, like, we can't do it without you.
Did they really?
No, I'm just.
I don't know anything about this show.
No,
that's so cool though. That'd be like, after 14 seasons.
Yeah.
We're gonna ask you to join for the
Yeah,
15th.
please. We can't do this without you.
Like, just give her an FBI jacket. She'll look very sweet in it.
Yeah.
No, when I was growing up, I used to watch a lot of shows with my grandmother. So she would always she would crochet. So I never, I was just like, oh, what are you gonna make? She used to make blankets and stuff, and she loved like Hunter. Did you ever watch that show, Hunter?
I don't think I've ever heard of it.
It's with the guy was a professional football player. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but Fred something. He played for the L.A. Rams. Like, he was a real football player, but he was a cop, and it was all like it was kind of like a Miami Vice, but on the West Coast side. Used to watch that. Matlock. What's the other one she used to watch? I really didn't get into Columbo and all them, but like Kojak, all those those old shows. Mm-hmm. But they were entertaining.
Yeah.
But what's like? I mean, in Canada, are they like? Because you know how like in some places, like, I don't know, over in Europe, they're still watching like stuff from the 80s. Like,
yeah.
Like, they're like, man, I love that episode of the A-Team. You're like, what? That was 40 years ago. What are you talking
Right?
about? Do they have anything like that in Canada?
Oh my goodness, I don't know. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Like, we watched a lot of American shows.
What was your favorite growing up?
Probably the A-Team.
Oh, you did like the A-Team? Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Heck
The A-Team was pretty popular.
Did you know like
Columbo?
nobody died in that show? Like they could shoot up a helicopter. Well, actually, somebody did die. I think at the end.
Did you guys get MASH?
Oh yeah, we had MASH.
Oh,
But
okay, MASH.
MASH was over my head. Like, I was like, it was very.
That was more Army.
Yeah, it was more Army, but it was very adult. Not like
Yeah.
the A-Team wasn't.
Yeah.
But the A-Team had like they fought. Like.
Yeah, I don't know. I
always,
actually never realized nobody died.
It was like pretty much, I would say like 99.5% that nobody
They couldn't
died.
show that stuff back then.
No, but like, like they'd have a car and it would like go off the side of a cliff, and it would like explode, and the guy gets out the door. He's
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah,
wow,
it's like, that hurt.
I'm gonna have to buff that out.
That was the whole cliffhanger when I went off the cliff and you had to wait the whole other week to find out if anybody died.
Yeah, it's like it'd be like, and it's like, join in next week when you'll find out if this guy makes it or not. And back then you didn't have the seasons to go. Okay, well obviously there's more seasons, so the guy did survive. But you're like, does he make it or not? Webster Ace Hardware and Farm Supply are generous sponsors for today's podcast. They have been a family-owned business for 27 years. This helpful hardware store sells items such as archery, Ariat clothing and boots, Wrangler jeans, case knives, Hammond's candies, and live fishing gear. They also have a full selection of hardware, RV supply, propane, Ben Moore, Royal & Clark, and Kingston paints. You need a barn or fencing job done? Custom barn kits and roofing metal are provided at your local Ace Hardware store. What about a new grill for the yard? Traeger, Big Green Egg, Weber, and Blackstone are found here, along with all the accessories to go with them. Stock up your workshop with DeWalt, Milwaukee, or Craftsman tools. They got you covered. Remember to go to ace.com to shop their entire line to have items shipped directly to the store. When we were kids, we didn't want to hear that.
Yeah.
We didn't want to hear what mom and dad told us. And we just thought, you always think, and it still happens today, because I've got my kids too, and they look at you like, how would you know? Like, how would you know what I'm doing? Like you know what they're going to do, and you know how your kids are, and you know what they're going to what road they're going to pick, and you just go, my God, I hope they pick the right road. Yeah. But it's up to them. You can't live your life through them. But it's amazing how growing up, you look at your parents and then you go, man, when it hits you and you go, they were right.
Yeah.
That's like the ultimate reality check.
Yeah. And it's the dreaded word, whenever it starts out, well, I can only tell you this because I've done it before. I've been through it. And then it's almost like you lose them right then. They're like, oh, he's full of crap. Or, you know what I mean? What's he know? You know, and my youngest daughter, Savannah, she's, both of my girls have been working, since Savannah was 14. She worked at Seahag Marina. Katie worked up there too. And they were, they both started out in the store, then they moved up to cashiers and managers and stuff like that. And, they'd come in, this happened and all this. And I said, well, I'm just from experience.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, you just cut them, because you're, like you said, you don't want anybody to tell you what to do, or, it's almost like advice is kind of bad in certain ways. But, it's funny. It's like you just see their face. Oh, man, here we go again.
Yeah. Well, it's always tricky because you try to give advice to people, but then you also feel responsible for when it doesn't work out, because it worked out for you and it may have been a totally different circumstance. Yeah. But when somebody, like for example, with your kids or my kids, I could tell them, hey, look, you might not want to do this because I think it's not going to be in your best interest. But it may work out for them. But if it doesn't, and I was trying to give them a positive note instead of a negative, they look at you like, really? And I'm like, well, you can't blame me there either.
Yeah, it's like, well, I'm leading you down the A road. Yeah. It might not be the right one, but it's the one that I probably took when I, came on the same fork or whatever. But yeah, it's being a parent and all that. It's just like we talked about. Your parents say one day you'll understand when you're, when you're my age, and man, they were stinking right every time, and it's crazy. You're like, I got two girls, and Kylie, and it's sometimes Savannah still lives with us, but when all three of them were there, it's like chaos sometimes, man. It's like, oh man, and I love having girls, but it's like, man, this gets pretty deep sometimes. And you're like, I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it through this or not.
I think the difference between if you had like the girls and boys, and from what I've experienced, it's probably a good thing you didn't have a boy, because you'd probably be getting payback for what you did.
You're definitely right about that. I mean, it's and you look back and it's always you know, kids are going to be kids. I mean, it seems like nowadays it's a little bit more often. I mean, they may be doing the same thing we did back then, but in our eyes now, we're like, what are they crazy?
Yeah.
I can't believe they're doing that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and you know, back then it was the same for you. It's just a different time. You know, everything you know changes, but you'll see these kids. You know, they're hunting and fishing, and stinging hatchet is basically all there is. You know, and you know you'll get some boys every once in a while get in trouble with game wardens or something like that, and you're like, man, they're crazy. And I'm like, well, I think me and some other buddies, you know, Kurt Williams, you know, some other guys, we used to do some stuff that we're like, oh, and we wouldn't even think twice about it, you know.
Yeah.
Like, it's, you know, it's no big deal till you get caught, I guess.
Yeah, and the thing is, I hate to say back in our day, but back in our day, they didn't have camera phones.
Yeah.
And you were able to, if you were going to get in trouble, and you know what, listen, I'm going to be I'll be honest. There ain't nobody in this world that ain't done something bad in their life. So to have somebody go, well, I never did that when I was a kid. Well, and you just either you didn't have no life, or you just were so scared to death of not doing anything, taking risks, that you just never did anything.
That, or you just don't want nobody to know. You know, it's
that or you're a liar.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. I don't know. It's crazy. You know, you go back and you think about stuff. You know, like. Our biggest thing, like when we were in high school, was going out to Doug Lancaster and his place on the Lime Rock Road.
Lime Rock Road, brother.
And
wow, yeah,
it was. You know, I mean, for me, I lived in Coleman, so it was a pretty good drive.
Yeah.
And it was, you know, we might have a few beers or whatever, you know, and it's, you know, and you don't think about it then because you're like, oh, ain't nothing gonna happen to me, and and you know. Now you're like, man, that was, I don't know. I was fortunate that nothing happened, you know.
Well, not only that, when you're young, you're invincible.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now you understand, because I was just telling somebody this the other day. I said, you know, I didn't have a family member pass away until my grandparents passed away. And I was in my 20s. So growing up, my first experience with a loss was a friend of mine in school, and that was a reality check right there. But you think when you're younger, you're like, I'm going to live forever.
Yeah.
Or like when I was younger, I used to think, well, you're born, you get older, and then you die. Like there's no like you can't die in the middle of your life.
Yeah.
You don't do that.
Yeah.
But that's the mindset of a child.
Yeah.
You know, and so when you're young, you go. And it's always fun to see my kids when I ask them, like when you start breaking down the questions, you go, so what would have happened if this happened? And now when my father did that to me, I always thought he was just trying to give me the fifth degree, like good cop, bad cop. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? What if I would have done this? Are you trying to get me to admit something I haven't even done yet?
Yeah.
And but in reality, you have to cover all the bases, and you can't make a split decision like that if it involves other people. First of all, if it's just you, then it's on you. But when you involve, that's why with these, I've seen just in the past year all these wrecks with teenagers in them, and those people that were in the back seat that didn't make it. That wasn't planned.
Yeah.
But it happened.
Yeah.
And you gotta. That's a realization of something that just might happen. You may not plan for that to happen. Nobody plans for that.
Yeah.
But you got to know.
Yeah, and the worst mistake I can give any parent advice about is getting your child a truck that goes 120 or, you know what I mean, something souped up.
Yeah.
Give them a dinker, a rice burner, man, that just maybe can barely get there.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny we talk about that. So Katie, my oldest daughter, I'd got her a truck. She wanted a Jeep, and then I was trying to prep to get my other daughter something to drive. So I got her a truck because that's what she wanted, and so Katie ended up liking the truck, and it was a 4-door Ford F-150, had one of those EcoBoost motors in it, and we talk about what happened to you and kind of paybacks. So she was coming home from school. She's going to Dixie County and got pulled over, and she was going. I think she was going like 80 and a 65. It was enough to get pulled over. She got a ticket, and I don't know this for sure, but I don't know. She might have been trying to race somebody or something, but that wasn't the story I got, which it ain't it's all under the bridge. But I sit there and thinking about, man, I got one when I was 16 too. I was going, coming from Wildwood to Coleman.
Shakedown got you?
No, it was a sheriff. I can't remember his name. He knew my mom and dad. It was.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah, and
worse.
I wasn't far from the house because I just started driving. I think it was like 65 and 55, and I was scared. I was like, oh man, my dad's gonna kill me, and I was like, I ain't even been driving 3 months, already got a speeding ticket. Yep. And I was like, oh my God. And then you think about it, well, you done the same thing she did. I mean, she probably had a better story than you did. But, it's just funny,
Stitching Heifers is your one-stop shop for embroidered and printed hats, custom patch hats, and trending graphic tees that can be fully customized for you, your company, or your next big event. Whether you need a single design or a whole company's worth of branded gear, they've got you covered. Come see us at 110 Bushnell Plaza in Bushnell. Shop in-store or browse online anytime at thestitchingheifers.com.
I like the old school nature of it. I like how there was a flyer to be on the wall at the store, and it's like turkey seminar Saturday, and then you could go down to that thing, like I was saying before, and people could come to it. That's how I came up. Dick Kirby would travel all over the country doing it, and these guys through the years would do it, and they used to have the Whitetail Rendezvous up there. Like people come shoot their bows, and if you won the archery shoot, you were the best around. And to me, that was what it always was. You didn't have to be the best in the world, just be the best around. Yeah. If they said he's the best around, that's good enough for me.
Oh yeah,
that's good enough for me. And they used to have these stickers. You remember Scrape Juice, the deer lure that they made up there? It was red letters. It was yellow. Muzzy ended up buying it from them, and now Muzzy still makes it. But that was like a whole scene around Wildwood and the whole north end was Scrape Juice. And they had these Scrape Juice bumper stickers. It had this big, non-typical buck on it. And, you could go in there and get this bumper sticker. But there was one special bumper sticker that said Scrape Juice Advisory Staff. And you couldn't just walk up and grab one of those. Miss Linda would give you that thing, or Billy Vernon would give it to you from under the counter if you were legit enough to have it. And so you'd see these guys with one on their truck, and you had the regular one. And you're like, oh, man, I got the regular one. What do I got to do? So you just would go out there and, you'd do your best out in the woods. You'd go hunt. You'd go try to kill birds. You weren't doing it for any other reason other than it was just spring. It's time to do it. We'd do it. And as time went by, pretty soon people were like, man, that guy's pretty good. He shot another bird. And all of a sudden, you're just doing your thing, focusing on your own thing, and you're in there one day just randomly looking for something, looking for some shells. Back in the day, that was like one of the only places around. You couldn't go to Walmart and get some turkey shells. You couldn't get choke tubes or anything like that. And all of a sudden, that one day, you're in there just randomly minding your own business, and all of a sudden, you see that big yellow bumper sticker come out from behind the counter. And this one isn't like the other ones. This one has some black letters on the bottom. They slide it across and hand it to you. And whatever it was, for whatever reason, you deserved that thing. And it was just a little piece of plastic and vinyl, but that thing meant a whole lot more than that. It meant a lot, because that was something, that was a Sumter County thing. It didn't matter in any other county. It didn't matter anywhere else other than here. And you had that thing now. And whatever it was that you did to deserve that, that came from within. And other people saw it. And that's when you all of a sudden realize that there was more to this.
Right.
There was this unseen level, this unseen layer. And so I've always remembered that myself. And wherever I go, I always remember when these people come into the stores, when they run into me in the woods, wherever, I always want them to know that they are somebody. They're somebody. And I want to, they can do it. You did it. You know what it's like to pull that trigger and see a turkey die in front of you. And you helped him get there. And that's how that whole deal worked. Now, did it change your life? Maybe in some way. But you didn't bend your whole life around that.
No.
Some of us did.
Yeah. I'm not saying that.
Right. And I'm just saying some of us at some point, we lost who we were and became who we are. Right. And it was all fused together.
Right.
And that's the thing is, the weirdest question, the craziest thing I was asked was, I did an interview. Trulock Choke Tubes did that. It was like they were doing a documentary. And the very first thing they asked me, they said, tell us who you are. And for whatever reason, it was like my whole brain rewired.
Yeah.
Like, who am I?
Yeah.
Because that's a 3-hour episode all in itself. Nobody's just this or nobody's just that.
Right.
But that was like the most curveball thrown at me. It's tough to explain who you are.
Yeah.
It's difficult.
Yeah.
Because you try not to sound like an a-hole. You try not to sound like you're, but on the same token, there's all these people out here, they think they're the best. You know how it is. There are certain people, they think they're the best. And they think they deserve what you have. Or their advice is so much better than yours. And so you're trying to help people, and they might be jealous because you're getting paid for this. You're getting this. You're getting that. And so while you're out there trying to do your thing, they're out there and pushing in the complete opposite direction. Yeah. Oh, that guy's a poacher. That guy's like this. He's that. And it all goes back to the lifestyle. You got to take the good with the bad. You take the good with the bad. I'm hoping that somebody watches this show, they listen to this, they listen to what we're talking about, and I hope it inspires them. I want it to inspire them that they can do it too. Yeah. Here's this lifestyle, here's this, we hunt, we do this. If they're interested in trying it, and they don't have a shotgun, they don't have land, they don't have all these things, I'm hoping that they realize that there's an opportunity. That they, and here's people that they can talk to about it.
Absolutely. And
so, that's why it's an opportunity. Not just come on here and just, talk about, I'm cool because of this, I'm cool because of that, and da-da-da-da-da-da. It's genuinely help people, and just, it's been awesome listening to these stories and listening to this stuff, and I'm hoping you get another chance, because I feel like the next time around is going to be just as wild. I just feel, because I knew you as a person.
Yeah.
Well, we need to have him work a little bit, because we were done in 15 minutes. So,
Well, and that's the thing is, and that could have been, if I didn't know any better, that could have been a misconception of my own. It could have been like, well, it only took me 25, 30 minutes to get the birds on the ground.
Yeah.
And I know that. I'm a realist. I understand that doesn't happen. And it was just funny that John did say that. He's like, the first thing he turned around as soon as that bird. Now, that doesn't normally happen.
Yeah.
But, but it was a great opportunity. I really appreciate John taking me. I mean, he didn't have to. I tried to get out of it.
Yeah.
I tried to get out of it, but
you had doubts.
I did.
You had doubts.
I did, and I hope that's if somebody watches this and they go, they're on the fence about it. They want to do something. It doesn't even have to be turkey hunting. It could be on the fence about anything, and you're never going to know until you do it.
That's right.
And I'm glad that I had such a great experience, because now I can say, if I ever am on the fence again, I go, what if? Well, what if I would not have went turkey hunting? Would I have 2 birds hanging on my wall right now? I wouldn't have that opportunity. I wouldn't have the opportunity of being able to share that story with anybody where I gave my testimony about what happened, or and of course I'm going to try to make it funnier, but it is what it is, and that's what life's all about, is these experiences that and I know you guys have a ton of stories more than I do, but to me, that they always say the first time you go, you'll never forget it. And so that I'm just so glad that I was able to, because that'll discourage somebody too. You take somebody fishing and you don't catch anything. Yeah. Or hunting, you don't kill anything.
Well, the weirdest thing is my first time. The first time I ever went out by myself. And I went out there. I hunted Pennsylvania spring season. I flew up there. It was Mother's Day weekend, and I wanted to surprise my mother. We flew up there. I got up 3:30 in the morning because it's daylight as can be at 5 a.m. up there.
Yeah.
And so I got up and I went up this ridge. I used to deer hunt as a kid, and I called. And the first time I hit that call, out there, over there, back there. I'm like, oh, cool, yeah. And so I just went and I sat down and I called a little bit and it just all happened like it was supposed to. And I'm working my way down the ridge, and next thing I know, this one hammers out in front of me. Pow! I sit down up against a tree and I'm just sitting there calling. I got this little push button call.
Yeah.
Boop, boop, boop.
Little nightingale.
And they had those little nightingale eggs, yeah. And so I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden here comes this big longbeard, all blown up and half strut, and he comes out, and I had this old Charles Daly pump shotgun. It was camouflage. It was 3.5-inch 12 gauge, and I'm posted up on this bird. He comes right across this ridge. He's about 30 yards away. I pull the trigger, click. I had a shell in there, but it was just one of those light firing pin strikes. So it just, when you look at the shell, it has a dent in it, but the thing didn't go boom. So the bird's standing there, and I pumped it real quick, and I closed it, and the bird stretches his head up, and boom, blasts him. He just rolls, and he rolls down the ridge, and he's falling and flipping. He hits the bottom. And so I slide down the thing chasing after him, and we get to the bottom. And this bird stood up, and he was just wobbling like side to side. He was bleeding out of his mouth like a faucet. It was just crazy. I'm looking at him, and I picked the gun up, and I'm about to shoot him. I'm from me to you away from him, and he just falls over dead. And that was it. That was my first time.
Wow.
And it was like I was back at the house before 7 o'clock in the morning, and everybody's still sleeping. And I got home, and my wife was there. We weren't married yet. And, I woke her up, and she's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" I was like, "I'm done. We gotta go take pictures," And she's like wiping her eyes, and so it was more her impression of this. It was just that easy. You can just that made it hard for years to come, because now it's like, oh well,
you gonna be home at night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's exactly it. Oh, I want to go to TJ Maxx this morning. Oh, so you better go shoot one real quick.
Yeah.
And then of course that's a day that you get beat on all the way till 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon. But so it was like I knew that wasn't normal. But it was just so natural how everything just fell into place, how everything just worked.
Yeah.
And I used to I read books, I read these magazines, and again, you didn't have YouTube back then. You didn't have any of that stuff. When I first duck hunted, this is how far back it goes. First time I ever went, lead was still legal for ducks. That's how far back we're talking. Okay. So it was just crazy though, because you thought that it was one way, and you get up there and it happens almost exactly like that. Now all the flopping down, all that end portion, nothing. They don't ever show you that stuff on the old HS strut videos. They don't ever show you that on. You don't see that part. But right up to that point, everything went to plan, and you just felt natural. Everything felt natural.
Right.
You never were shaken. You never, had buck fever. You just were like, boom, boom, boom. Done. And so after that point, though, even still to this day, though, it doesn't matter how many you killed, at some point, every once in a while, the magnitude of the moment still catches you. And for whatever reason, you'll start shaking a little bit, and you'll start, that adrenaline, all this stuff starts coming through. You know, it more often than not, it might be you're down in that last week of the season and you really want to shoot your second bird, you know, and all of a sudden that bird's coming and he's on his way and he starts getting a little herky-jerky, or you start hearing that alarm putt and you start feeling the sand slipping between your fingers. That's when all of a sudden it starts hitting you. It's kind of like a reverse buck fever. Now you're starting to get into that point where it's kind of like, I have to do something. I have to control this situation. Yeah. And like you said, it's nature. It's a wild bird. And now I have to control this. I'm the puppet master, and this is going to go down how I envisioned it happening. Yeah. You know, I've learned, just like in sports or anything else, where if you see yourself with the trophy at the end, the second you start thinking about it, it goes out the window.
Yep, that's right in your grasp.
Yeah. Yep. And when I start seeing myself on the tailgate with that bird, when I start seeing him hanging up, when I start planning how I'm going to take the photographs at the end, that's when I've lost that bit of concentration I needed to make this happen. And that's where, you know, when you're younger, you kind of, you know, patience, as we talked about, patience is a big thing. And in the last few years, I've been working really hard on that portion of it. It's like, if things aren't going your way, you start having a tendency to think that there's a bird behind that tree over there. And then you go there. And then, oh, well, there's got to be a bird behind that tree. And you start pushing and pushing. Next thing you know, there's a bird running away from you through the woods that was coming, but you just kind of, you know, messed it up for yourself because you let you get carried away. So the patience portion of it, and that's something that I picked up through talking to some of the old timers, you know, some of the guys that have been doing it a long, long time. When I see like a guy, you know, in the parking lot and he's got all the Sika gear on, he's got all the brand new stuff, that guy he's not scary at all. That guy doesn't scare me one bit. It's the guy over there with the cigarette hanging out of his mouth with them old faded Advantage camo jeans with the big brown spots on the back of the knee. When you see brown spots back here on the back leg, that's a whole different story. That's the guy right there. Not the dude over there with all the brand new latest stuff, the $2,000 Benelli and all that. The guy with that Mossberg 835 Ultimag with them brown spots and that Marlboro hanging out of his mouth. That guy. That's him.
Pat's Taps at Catfish Johnny's. Pat's Taps is Lake Panasoffke's only craft beer tap room, offering 12 rotating craft beers on tap. We also offer bottled domestic beer, seltzers, ciders, and wine, as well as a variety of appetizers and pub food. Our family-friendly tap room is a great place to hang out and enjoy some one-of-a-kind craft beer. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, or the Untapped app.
Whether your water is supplied by a public municipality or a private well, for residential or commercial use, Purified Water Services LLC has the solutions to provide you with simply clean water. We offer a complete line of professional water filtration equipment and accessories. Soft water makes a difference you can see and feel. Water heater and appliances last longer with less maintenance. Iron and H2S filters eliminate iron stains and offensive rotten egg odors and protects your water softener equipment from iron fouling. No matter what your problem is, Purified Water Services LLC has a solution. Contact Kenny Williams at 352-446-2709. Where are you originally from?
I'm from Southern California.
Southern California?
Yes.
I had no idea.
Really? I grew up in the Los Angeles, child actor, doing TV commercials and modeling and all that kind of stuff in my youth.
Yeah.
So I grew up just about in Riverside County, 60 miles outside of Los Angeles.
Okay.
I did all of that, dance classes, acting classes, all of that. And then in high school, my senior year of high school, I did production of Into the Woods. And my prince worked at Disneyland. And he said, "You're graduating high school, come work with me at Disneyland." I said, okay. I had no idea. I showed up to the character audition in a dress with high heels on, tap heels, and sheet music, not knowing that I was auditioning to be a fur character.
Oh yeah. So you were about to dance, but not in that kind of way.
Oh no, I was about to sweat and move. And so
Wow.
it was a 2-day audition. The first day I did a little combination routine, and they said, great, we want you to come back tomorrow. Don't wear a dress. Wear something you can sweat in. And I said, okay, I'll do that. And I went back the next day, and they actually put you in full costume for the second day of rehearsal.
Oh, that's something.
For second day of audition.
That's something that they don't ordinarily do.
No, but this is way back 1994 at Disneyland. So I got dressed in a Mr. Penguin costume.
I love Mr. Penguin.
I know, and
He's so cool.
I waddled my way around the room, not knowing what in the world am I getting myself signed up for. And so then they hired me for that summer season, and I was just seasonal. It was only going to be a summer job while I went to college, and I got hooked. I got really hooked. So
Like so many others.
Yes.
That got bit by the pixie dust and
Yes.
stayed.
yeah,
Which is great.
Yeah.
I love it when people. If you're great and you do your job, that's great. The people that don't stay in there they just kind of walk through the motions. It's kind of like, oh, it's time to go.
yeah. But it was fun. It wasn't like work.
Yeah. No.
It wasn't work at all.
I never thought that I actually worked a day in my life, like while I was working there. Like I mean, there were some long days where I was tired.
Yeah.
It was just like if I had been on some kind of trip or something, and you just got back, you're like, you're going through the travel motion and everything. You're exhausted. That's why you have jet lag and
Yes.
everything. So
Yeah.
I felt the same way after like a 15-hour day or whatever, double shift or whatever you call it. Coming home and being like, oh my gosh, like what just happened? It was almost like one big beating.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like almost like a day at summer camp or something with your friends, and you go out and you have fun at the beach or play games and stuff. But that's what we used to do at Disneyland. We used to go out on set and we'd play games. There was no lines, no hosts, no nothing. We would just go out there. We would have a face character with us because I was a fur character.
Gotcha.
So we would go out in the Alice unit and we'd go play Head, Shoulders, Knees, and Toes, or we would go visit piano player and we'd play, musical chairs and stuff like that. We would just go out and we would play. We would have fun. So that's all it was.
I got a funny story about Mr. Penguin before I forget about it.
Yeah, of course.
I'm probably going to forget about it.
No.
But I want you to hear this.
Yes.
So we used to do a show at Magic Kingdom. I think it was, I want to say it was either Cinderella Surprise Celebration.
Yeah.
Or it was before that. I can't remember exactly. But they were doing this new thing where after the show ended, because everybody thinks that after the show, the characters are going to come out.
Yes.
And that doesn't happen.
No.
So somebody said, why don't we do that? Why don't we do like a cavalcade where everybody, like, we'll have just a bunch of random characters come in, and that'll kind of break up the monotonous wait time between the next show. And it's a great idea on paper. It really is.
Yeah.
It sounds cool. Like even now when I say it, I'm like, that's a cool idea.
Yeah.
But it's to orchestrate something like that and to be out there on the front line like that, it was crazy. So all these random characters, like I said, random, like Mr. Penguin. Random.
Like whoever they had standing around in the break room.
Spare. You, hey, come here.
Yeah.
You've been holding up that couch too long. Get over here.
Yep.
Mr. Penguin was one of the random characters. And they'd have like the Tweedles and, oh my gosh, the Robin Hood unit or something like, something random, but people love that kind of stuff because it's something that you don't ordinarily see. So Mr. Penguin comes and so they'd have somebody from the stage be like, and introduce the characters, kind of like a catwalk thing, like it's a model, like a modeling. They're on the catwalk, like, all right, here comes Mr. Penguin, and they're like, everybody's like, who?
What movie's he from?
Yeah, and
Happy
then they're
Feet?
like, yeah. So they're like, and then they do like a little walk around, and then they go down the ramps, and they would go out on set.
Yeah.
Well, this time it's like, Mr. Penguin. He comes out there and he goes, and he just goes. He falls, and he can't get up.
Can't get up.
So the girl, I believe it was a girl, she's like, Mr. Penguin. And he comes, what that falls? And she goes, oh, well, oops, yeah. I mean, like doesn't help him.
Right.
She like takes a sidestep, like, All right.
And next.
And we got a dead penguin up here on the stage. So that was it was
that's
hilarious
funny.
and then when we got back to the downstairs, everybody was like kind of ragging on her, like, ah. She's like, I didn't fall. I'm like, everybody saw you fall. You fell. I don't remember who it was. It was just somebody random, but they're like it was embarrassing. Like, I didn't do that. I'm like, it's not a big deal. It's Mr. Penguin.
Right. We used to do something like that at Disneyland. We called it a castle massacre. And every day at noon, they would do a park-wide announcement. Come meet your favorite Disney characters in front of the castle. And we would all load up on an omnibus, travel down from Town Square all the way down Main Street, get off the omnibus, and just chaos of people. And then they would make an announcement, thank you for visiting your favorite Disney characters. And we would all make the biggest beeline run because you didn't want to be the last character standing out in the crowd because, Mickey's left to go back to the bus. Okay, well, here's Winnie the Pooh. Let me go attack him.
Yeah.
So everybody would run and you push your way through the crowd to get back to the bus. And, then we did have host with us, and you're trying to hold people back from getting on the bus with the characters. And it was crazy. We called it the Castle Massacre.
That's such an appropriate title for that, because that's exactly how it was trying to get away from the cat, like that at that point where they did the meet and greet with everybody random.
Yes.
And because they were so rare, people were getting really upset.
Yes.
They're like, oh my gosh, I was this close to getting Friar Tuck. You're like, what?
I've waited my whole life to get Friar Tuck's autograph.
You are a liar. You're a liar.
You don't even know what his name really is.
No.
Come on.
My favorite is when they called him Fire Truck. Or the other word.
Or where you accidentally wrote the other one. Yeah.
How many of those do you think are in autograph books back from the day?
Probably a lot by me alone. That was my favorite.
That is hilarious. Yeah. And it's so easy to do.
Oh, yeah, because you're thinking about what am I having for lunch?
Yeah. What
am I doing after work?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's easier to do it in the inside, like fur, instead of when you have your actual face exposed. Because then you're you can't be like you're in a sedation.
But you can tell when people are.
Oh, no doubt.
You know that.
No doubt.
You can tell when somebody is not really, when they're thinking about something else and they're going through the motions. And
it's normally the last set because they want to go home.
Or it's the after lunch.
Yes, and they're in that coma.
Yes.
That where you're like, I just want to lay down and take a nap.
That was the set that was the hardest for me.
Yeah.
Especially, I got trained at the end in Sister, Stepsister. Mm-hmm. And that was the set, after lunch, I can't be funny. I don't know how to be funny after lunch. I am just going through the motions.
Well, you're very lethargic. You're because everybody feels, and it's normally, obviously, your lunch is in the majority of the time. I've had some lunches where it was 5 p.m.
Yes.
I mean, it's not very hot outside, but normally your lunch is around noon or 1 o'clock, and it's the hottest part of the day.
Yes.
And you don't want to come back.
And there's something great about having a long lunch, an hour and 15-minute lunch.
Yeah.
But then there's something about an hour and 15 lunch where you've just kind of you ate, you've been sitting for a while, and now getting back after the sitting, it's different. And getting the sweaty clothes back on.
Oh, yeah. Which have been hanging on a hanger in front of a fan.
And now they're cold and sweaty. Yes.
I'll just do like Russian roulette. I'll just pick a stream And I don't know how we got brought together with Twitter or I mean TikTok. But all of a sudden you're on my feed, and I'm like, wow, this girl can, yeah. Hi, Amy, and you can sing. You really can sing it. And I think that people, it's bizarre, but it's so cool that we live in a world now where like there's no way in a million years I would have ever met you.
Yeah,
just being in the world that I lived in before
but
social media.
To be able to just watch somebody live right then and they're like, how the hell does that work? That's crazy.
Right. And it's
mental.
I think if everybody kind of like took a moment and just went through and just kind of like we were talking about negative comments earlier about don't read the comments, but but there's a time where like why can't people just celebrate people? Why can't they be like, look, this person's putting in the time. They're doing such a great job. Look, they can type in great job and they don't really have to mean it. But that doesn't mean that that's not going to motivate that person to do better or keep doing.
I'll never understand it. I'll never understand why people say mean things online. I think, I've questioned it for years, but I think at the end of the day, it's just a projection of their own unhappiness, 99% of the time. And it's still hard to understand knowing that because, I've been in some very unhappy places, but never, ever, ever would I take that out on a stranger online. True. So it's still difficult to understand, but it does come from a place of projection for sure.
Now, don't get me wrong. You can take that negative response that somebody has sent to you, and you can turn that you can spin it into a positive win for yourself. And that happens all the time. People don't always start off the way they are. Eventually, they need a little push, and so there'll be people like there's in the States here. There's several athletes that I do a lot of sports and entertainment, but I do more sports, but I love covering the entertainment part. So that's where you come in.
I checked out. I was obviously looking at your page. I saw that you mostly
a lot of sports
interview athletes. Yeah,
right. But there's a lot of stuff that you can learn from sports, and people don't really take in consideration that look, there's a lot of similarities between sports and life, and if you do things one way or do things this way, it can have a big impact on how you do things, how you live your life. We have at our high school, the football team, we have this rule. We call it the number one rule, and it's focus on the next play. And so that doesn't have to be, and I've always said this, it doesn't have to be in sports. It can be in your life when you have something going on that, you wake up and you're having a good day, and you're like, all right, and you kind of harp on that. I had a great morning, but then the rest of your day is crap, or something happens. Well, you can't harp on that good thing just like you can't harp on the bad things. Like, say the roles were reversed. You had a bad morning. Well, you can still make your day better by turning that negativity into something positive. And I think if everybody kind of just took a step back, took a deep breath, and said, look, this is something I could do every day. And it makes sense when you think about it. You're like, look, we tell our kids, hey, you score a touchdown. In soccer, you score a goal. In football, right? And people don't win by just scoring one time. They have to score multiple times. Sometimes they can, but I'm just saying, everybody's like, yeah, we scored, but we still lost the game. Well, then that score doesn't matter anymore because you didn't win the game. So we always put that emphasis on how important things are when you don't focus on the next play. And
that's a really good way to describe it, actually. Yeah. Can't say I've never been very much into my sports, but my mum and my sister are very, they're very sporty, athletic. My sister is a brilliant netball player. She was on some of the UK teams and such, but she's really damaged her ACL ligament.
ACL or MCL.
Yeah, something like that. I'm not very knowledgeable on it, but she's got to have a surgery because she can't do sports until she's got that. Anyway, so she's my mum and my sister are very sporty, and my mum's been watching the Winter Olympics at the moment. So I've been dragged into watching that as well. I was like they said watching the what is it, the luge or the
Yeah.
one where they go down on their stomachs. I was like that the other
Yes.
day, like what
Yeah.
watch. Look, I said one wrong move and they're literally like they could like break their back.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
So, but she's getting me into sports. I've never been so into it, but I
Yeah.
can watch the football when it's or as you call it, soccer, when it's the World Cup or whatever.
Yeah. I'm the same way. Same way.
Yeah.
It's a little more. So a lot of people, it's the same way with other sports around here. Like in the States, we play baseball. That's our thing. It's American pastime, they call it. A lot of people don't, unless they're going to a game. Like we can go to games all the time, but unless they're going to a game, like literally going to the game, they won't watch it on TV because there's so many games. There's like 160 games, right? So they're like,
I like the idea of baseball. We don't have that over here.
Oh yeah, it's
Like at all. Yeah.
Yeah, it's something that's different. And just when you think I know all the rules, you don't know all the rules. It's like you learn something every time that you either watch a game or you're watching it. Like I do the announcing for our high school team, and there's stuff I learn all the time. It's like I'm like, how do the people write down these rules and keep them, because they keep changing? Like, you know what I mean? Like, or you think, like I said, you think you know everything, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, that's how it works for real. Like but it's funny, but I think people.
It does look like a good game to watch. I love when you see videos of in America when before, is it baseball, before the game they put people on the big screen. And everyone's like that. Yeah.
Yeah, they do that. They do that in hockey too. The hockey games have that. Yeah. They'll have like there's some videos where they'll do like celebrity lookalikes, and they'll find people in the stand. It'll show a celebrity photo, and then it'll show them, and it's like kind of like they're kind of close. Yeah.
I just feel like there's things that Americans do that are just so wholesome.
Yeah.
It's just so genuinely like, it's just like, I don't know, it's just wholesome. I love it.
Well, we're trying to like the NFL comes to Europe, or they'll go. I think they went to Germany last year, and they go to the UK all the time.
Yeah.
And they'll play, and it's so funny because if you ever watch a game that they play, and I love the British culture, because they don't pick just a team, because there's not a home team over there. So it looks like what we call the Pro Bowl is like when it's like the All-Star game. You have guys from different teams, and all the teams are represented. So it's like watching the Pro Bowl at the UK.
Is this to do with the Super Bowl, or is that different?
The Pro Bowl is before the Super Bowl, and it's like,
because I don't know anything about this.
It's like an All-Star game.
Okay.
They actually used to play a game, like an actual football game.
Right.
But now it's like flag football. They've kind of watered it down quite a bit, where it's not as fun to watch. But it's a big deal if you're like a 10-time Pro Bowler, then that means it's like a 10-time All-Star. You got some credential. But
yeah,
I love looking in the stands, and you see like there'll be somebody with like a Pittsburgh jersey, or the Cowboys, or the Dolphins. It'd be totally random, and I just love it because it's like they just want to be there. Like they're just like, we're here, baby. It would be like us going to a football game and like Man U, and be wearing like, oh man, I can't think of the team that. Like, I mean, you know how the clubs, they have so many different clubs.
In like the British clubs.
Yes, like Chelsea, or
like Liverpool.
Or whatever, yeah. My brother was a big, I can't think of the name of oh my gosh, he's going to kill me.
I'm trying to think of a few. Where
Everton?
Like, Everton, yeah.
Yes,
that's,
he's big.
So I don't watch so much football, but my mum's from Liverpool. So if I do watch the football, I root for Liverpool. Liverpool and Everton are like the two Liverpool teams that are rivals. Oh, why is there balloons on my screen? What's going on?
We're having a celebration.
Why did I did that?
I don't know. Something happened. It was like you got a trigger word there.
I must have triggered it. What did I say? Rivals. Liverpool.
You say celebration?
Celebration.
Oh,
Celebrate.
no,
Happy birthday.
that's so
One
funny.
off random. But yeah, no, Liverpool and Everton are like the rival teams.
Gotcha.
The Blues and the Reds.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
a Red. I'm a Liverpool fan, if anything.
Thanks for watching part 1 of this 2-part podcast. Check out full episodes on YouTube and Spotify.